And 1, 2, 3. Good morning, y'all. This is Ned over My Philippine Dreams, and this is our weekly Wednesday morning live cast. This is the first one I'm doing since Eastern Standard Time went back to non-daylight savings time. I think that's how it works. So people can enjoy all the snow all the more during the day there, because I guess Boston and the Northeast is getting socked by a huge nor'easter. Alright, so this is our weekly live cast, and this week's live cast is brought to you by Kuya's Bolo Shop. Kuya's Bolo Shop can be found just about on any street corner, and Kuya makes the finest bolos, these are like little machetes, that you can get in the Philippines, expertly crafted from car leaf springs. This is actually a car leaf spring. I've actually seen them do it, and they pound it down. They're like little blacksmiths, and these things are great, and they got a lot of functions. You can use it to chop down malunggay. You can use it to chop down crazy banana trees. It's good home defense against huntsman spiders or intruders trying to get at you. These things are really great. I don't know if we're legally allowed to have these, but it's Michelle's. So Kuya's Bolo Shop, thank you to Kuya for our great bolo, which we've had for many years and gotten a lot of use out of it. Alright, so our weekly live cast. We're going to be talking about some local events. There's only two big ones this week that could conceivably affect expatriate life, whether you're retired here, whether you're going to school here, whether you're working here, whether you're thinking about coming on a little vacation. But before we get into that, I'm also going to be responding to viewer comments and questions. Try to keep it decent in the comment section, please, if you can. Also, if there's any problem with this transmission, let me know. Okay, no snow down here in the southeast. Alright, so first up, congratulations to last week's trivia answerers. And they received a free copy of our ebook, Chasing Your Philippine Dream, an expat's guide to the Philippines. Last week's trivia question was, where is Michelle, my much better half, my significantly better other, from? And the correct answer was Pagadian City. So Thomas C., King, New Jersey, Sean W., and Matt P. all received a free copy of our ebook, Chasing Your Philippine Dream.
I have to work.
All right, Michelle. All right, Michelle's working, and I got to go to work after this too. So this week's trivia question. This band was formed in Long Island, New York in 1967. 1967 was a very auspicious year because that is the year that I descended down from the heavens upon this mortal coil. So they were formed in 1967 and had two songs featured in the 1981 movie Heavy Metal. What is the name of this band? The first three correct answers get a free copy of our book, Chasing Your Philippine Dream. Send your correct answer to myphilippinedreams@gmail.com. That's myphilippinedreams, no S, @gmail.com. And I'll rush it out to you. Actually, I won't rush things out because I'm really slow getting to some of this stuff. I actually emailed the guys who won last week their free copy today, so I feel kind of bad about that. Irish Roman Catholic guilt. Alright, first up, the first big story. We reported on this last week, actually. Korean sex tour arrestees flee the country. And this is coming out of the Cebu Daily News, or I should say Cebu Daily News, at Inquirer.net. The 7 Korean nationals who have been entangled in a sex tours scandal barely 2 weeks ago have reportedly fled the country. Special Agent Arnel Pura of the National Bureau of Investigation, the NBI, in Central Visayas said the 7 Koreans who were charged with use of a posted bail on Tuesday. Now, 9 Koreans were arrested, but only 7 were charged. The other 2 were not charged because, according to the NBI, during the raid they were not with their Filipina sex escorts. Pura said the foreigners posted bail and their office received the order of release on Tuesday. They immediately delivered the Korean nationals as the NBI's task covers only the criminal aspect of the situation. The NBI said they posted bail on Tuesday. We delivered and endorsed them to the Bureau of Immigration. The procedure when it comes to foreigners is that we would always refer to the immigration. We don't have a basis anymore for detaining them since they already posted bail. We turned them and their passports over to immigration, Pura said in Cebuano. A source from the government agency, who asked not to be named, however, confirmed the report of the Koreans having already left the country and said that the Koreans left the Philippines last Wednesday on a 3:45 p.m. Cebu Pacific flight bound for Seoul, South Korea. The government said that they failed to secure a whole departure order on time against the Koreans because the events had unfolded so quickly. She said the approval of the bail and the order of the release included a travel restriction that was apparently not heeded by the foreigners. They applied for bail. It was allowed by the judge, but it was provided that their travel is restricted. They have to inform the court if they want to leave, which they did not do since they left the country immediately. At present, they said they are consulting with lawyers to see if they can have the Koreans extradited based on the extradition treaty between the country and South Korea, and to see if trafficking is among those offenses where people can be extradited for. So basically, these guys, these 7 dudes, they all got arrested. They all bailed out 120,000 pesos. I don't know, what's that, $3,000? And they got on a plane and went back to Seoul. Now what's interesting is the passports were seized when the NBI arrested them, and the NBI gave them to immigration along with, the court order on the travel restriction and all that stuff. And somehow the Koreans still got their passports back. So somebody dropped the ball there, obviously. This situation is pretty interesting because the Philippine justice system can be kind of slow at times. And I've known instances where people have had to stay here for years awaiting disposition of a trial. Sometimes things can be stacked against people. Sometimes there's, not adequate investigations going on. And there's been cases of people actually doing this before. They get arrested, they're charged with something, they bail out if it's a bailable offense, and then they get out of the country. I even know one guy, he had a whole departure order. It was a solid hold departure order. They had his passport. They would not return it to him. So he actually got out of the country through one of the back doors. And there's a number of back doors, ways to get out of the Philippines. He went to the U.S. Embassy in another country. He stopped off in Malaysia. And he was able to get back to the United States because he was basically concerned about a kangaroo court. He said the charges were not true. And so basically, instead of trying to stay and face the music, he beat feet. He got out of here. So that's our first article. Let's see how the feed's doing. Let's see how the comment is. It's showing offline. Oh, yes, and welcome to PLDT, 0.5 megabit per second internet. We're slowly uploading. So if you're watching this live, there's probably a lot of buffering. John Esom says somebody made some money. Yes, there's been some allegations that maybe somebody got bribed and that's how they were able to get out. Jim says it's more fun in the Philippines. Travel restrictions. We don't need no stinking travel restrictions. That's right. As a matter of fact, I'm leaving. I'm going back to the U.S. for about 29 days, and you can actually get your exit clearance now at the airport if you've been here, I believe, between 6 months and a year or something like that. If you've been here less than a year, you can get it at the airport and not have to go up to Cebu and get it and then come back and then go back. But, man, I don't know. I might just go up anyways. Jerry Gamboni says, bet those guys never turn back. I will not take you up on that bet because you would probably win it. Give me that music trivia question, Matthew Smith asks. All right, I'll give it to you one more time. Here's the trivia question. This band was formed in Long Island, New York in 1967 and had 2 songs featured in the 1981 movie Heavy Metal. What is the name of the band? First 3 correct answers to myphilippinedreams@gmail. Get a free copy of my book, which is a fantastic book. I've never had anybody ask for their money back. Even the trolls. A troll has never spent, $10, got the book and said, I want my money back. So that tells you something. I get positive feedback on it, except for last week when somebody said, hey, dude, you got the wrong version up there. All right, local news. I got to get a root canal, and I got to get it done soon. I've been putting it off. Yesterday I bit something, and the pain associated with a bad tooth. I got to get it done. I'm going to swing by the dentist office today and see if they can schedule me. Maybe we can get it done tomorrow or Friday. And other news, the dog was finally moved, and it's been so great. It actually happened the other night, not last night, but the night before they moved him. No barking, no howling, no whining. It's fantastic. Yeah, so if you live here and you got a dog situation and the dog just won't stop barking, you'll know how that can contribute to a lower quality of life. So I'm very happy about that. All right, moving on. This week's recommended Philippines vlogger channel. Last week I recommended Barry Jordan. Barry Jordan has a vlog site. I think he's up at Bohol now, and he's basically living in the Philippines on $500 USD a month. And if you want to see if it can be done and how it can be done, you can check out his channel. This week's recommended vlogger channel is actually a gentleman named Evan Burris Trout. He was here about a year before I got here. He's a young, I believe he's American, might be Canadian, I'm not sure. I think he's American. And yes, America to the Philippines. And he really captured his early videos, and you have to go back to his very first videos, because ever since then he's been doing videos on Europe. He's been traveling all over the place. He's a great cinematographer. He's really good with video. He's like a professional, unlike all of the rest of us. And but his video, the very first video he put out, was America to the Philippines and First Impressions. And in this video, Evan basically captured, and it's basically a talking head video. There's some video of him walking around and stuff. But it's basically the culture shock, and he really captures, just in his facial expressions, the way he's talking, what he's saying. He really captures that feeling of, when you step off and you go from, the first world into a developing nation, or whatever you want to call it, the culture shock that ensues. And it's got over like 320,000 views, that video. A lot of them are Filipinos that get very upset. They're very mad at him because of some of the things that he said. But he didn't say it out of spite. He didn't mean it in a mean way. It was just basically he was talking about things that, he had never experienced before, and that a lot of us have never experienced before. So Evan Burris Trout is this week's recommended vlogger channel. You can see the links down in the LiveCast video description. There's a link to his channel, and there's also a link to the video that I just talked about. All right, let's go to the comments section. Hopefully Golden Rich isn't here. Nope, it's not Steppenwolf. Not Steppenwolf. Ah, somebody got it right. Peter Houseco got it right. Peter, just email me, myphilippinedreams@gmail.com, and you get a free copy of our book. Jerry Gamboni says the zombie looks for free Wi-Fi. He's talking about the Manila hobo. He just emailed me. I didn't respond. Magic carpet ride. Texas Tourist says the Beatles. There was no music after the Beatles. Wrong answer. Wrong answer. They should be jailed. Yeah, they were jailed. They were arrested. They were jailed. The Korean, sex tourists. And I guess the other two are still on the lam, but they were bailed out because it is a bailable offense. There's a bunch of offenses here that are non-bailable. So, Getty G4 says, methinks, time to go back to Sky Cable. Yeah, the PLDT is freaking horrible. When I come back from the U.S., I'm going to get the Sky Cable 50/5. We'll see how that works. We'll keep both of them for a while, see which one works the best. Hey, Ben Fern K. What's up, Ned? Ben from Florida. I actually met him. We went to, what was it, Coco Amigos? No. It was Moon Cafe. Joe Brennan says, have you had a TB test lately? Nope, but I'm going to get one when I go back to the U.S. I get full blood work done every year. Oh, this Golden Rich. Oh, God. Can I look after your wife, please? Yeah. Okay, sure, man. You sick bastard. I think Golden Rich, I don't think English is his first language. I think he's married to a Thai, and they live in Thailand. All right, moving on to our next story. The death penalty looks like it's going to be reinstated in the Philippines. Just as the country started its celebration of Lent, the House of Representatives on Ash Wednesday approved on second reading the bill seeking to restore the death penalty. This after the House majority on Wednesday's session approved by voice voting House Bill 4727, which seeks to impose the capital punishment on drug-related offenses. The second reading of the approval of the bill puts the restoration of the death penalty closer to its third and final reading. That's at the point where it gets approved or not, when the bill would just be voted upon by lawmakers without the need of amendments. The death penalty bill has been amended to limit its to drug-related offenses in a bid to support the administration's bloody narcotics crackdown that has claimed over 7,000 lives. The bill, as it was amended with plunder, rape, and treason being removed from the death penalty. So before, on the death penalty, plunder is when government agents or government officials are corrupt and they steal money. So that used to be the death penalty. Rape used to be in there, and treason. So it looks like they removed that, and they're focusing on the drugs now. The bill will not impose the mandatory death sentence, giving the judge the leeway whether to impose life sentence or the maximum penalty of death on convicts. The bill will punish with death or life imprisonment a large number of drug-related offenses: importation of dangerous drugs, sale, trading, administration, dispensation, delivery, distribution, and transportation of dangerous drugs, maintenance of a den, basically a crack house, or here it would be a shabu house, dive or resort. That's kind of strange. Maintenance of a den, dive, or resort. Manufacture of dangerous drugs and or controlled precursors and essential chemicals, misappropriation, misapplication, or failure to account for confiscated, seized, or surrendered dangerous drugs, and the planting of evidence. Now the last two are directed against law enforcement. So if they misappropriate, misapply, or don't account for confiscated, seized, or surrendered drugs, or they plant evidence on people, they can get the death penalty. They can get up to the life imprisonment or the death penalty. They go on to say possession of drugs will only be penalized with a maximum offense of life imprisonment. The bill stated that the death penalty should not be imposed on children below 18 years of age or senior citizens over 70 at the time of the commission of the crime. The penalty to be imposed on convicts are hanging, firing squad, and lethal injection. I don't know if you get a choice. I don't know if it's, multiple guess, if you have to roll dice. But I wouldn't want to be hung. I probably wouldn't want to be shot. I'd probably go with the lethal injection. So the things are changing when it comes to the death penalty in the Philippines. Simple distribution can now result in the death penalty if this act is passed. And I also believe it'll be for murder. I'm not sure, because they feel that they need to kill people that kill people to show that killing people is wrong, or something along those lines. All right, more stuff in local news, and then we'll go back to the comments. The Dumaguete has recently implemented a one-way system. So one-way traffic in the downtown area of Dumaguete. When they first implemented it, it was kind of chaotic. Nobody knew which way was which, and it was kind of crazy. But now people are getting a hang of it, and it seems to actually be working really well. Now keep in mind, Dumaguete is basically a college town, and it's also an employment center. The full-time population of Dumaguete is about 120,000 people. But during the day, that blooms to about 440, 460,000 people, students, workers, all that stuff coming into the city. So the traffic is kind of crazy. At some point, I talked about this in the last livecast that I did. They're gonna get rid of the trikes. They have trike pedicabs here. Basically, it's a motorcycle with a giant sidecar that can hold up to like six to 8 Filipinos or 4 large foreigners. And those eventually are going to be replaced with buses or e-buses or something to cut down, because a lot of the congestion is caused by the trikes. The trikes are trolling. You see most of them empty most of the time, and they're going slowly and looking for people, or they're doing U-turns. But the problem is tricycles in the Philippines provide so many jobs for so many families. Basically each trike is supporting 2 families, because there's basically 2 shifts. They usually do like an 8 to 10 hour shift each. And so that's supporting 2 families right there. So to get rid of the trikes would cause problems at this point. So something's going to have to be done eventually. Also, they're building an access road to the west of Dumaguete. They've been working on this for years now. And basically the access road is going to go from, I believe, Sibulan down to Pacong. So it's going to cut out the city. That's for like heavy trucks, sugarcane trucks, buses, all that stuff. So they have an alternative instead of going down through the downtown area, which they do now. Like on the boulevard a lot, you'll have these giant ass buses, the series buses, and the sugarcane trucks coming through and just causing total chaos. Belching diesel fuel. It's just nasty. So they're working on that. So that's the local news. Let's go to the comments section. We got 83 people watching right now. The stream is showing red, which means that it's offline, but I'm going to keep going because it's actually still going, I think. Hawkeye says, our president is full of shit and big mouth. I don't know which president you're referring to. There's a bunch of them around the world that fit that description. Matthew Smith says, selling weed, yes, it's a drug. Marijuana is illegal in the Philippines. It's all over the place. It's dirt cheap. Quality's not, quite up to par. But if you get caught, distributing, selling marijuana, you could conceivably get the death penalty. Dun, dun. Peter Turco says insurance for vehicles is dirt cheap. Motorcycle insurance is about 2,200 pesos a year. It's actually cheaper than that. Scott Parnell, who's in Hawaii, I believe. Scott Parnell says Golden Rich is a punk and getting reported. Yeah, he's kind of a moron, but hey. Scott. Oh, you guys. Yes, David Pike asked, didn't Duterte consider medical cannabis? Yes, he said he was open to it. I don't know where that's going to go. It's too early to tell. Eventually, the world's going to realize that it's not that dangerous of a drug. It's a lot less damaging and debilitating than alcohol dependence and all that stuff. If you want to see the end result, what we used to refer to as gamma stage of alcoholism, you can see it in the Philippines all over the place. Guys getting, to the bar, 10 o'clock in the morning, 12 o'clock, noon, and drinking and drinking and drinking and drinking. And just getting incredibly, it's horrible. David Pike says, but I'm just a pot smoker. You shouldn't smoke marijuana. It's not good for you. Okay, Jerry Gamboni says he has Sky Cable, 50-50, and so far it's okay. Have you ever tested the latency outside the country? I think I know the answer to that already. BOC, Blue Oyster Cult is amazing. There's actually a bunch of videos on YouTube. One of them is Veteran of the Psychic Wars. Digitally remastered this live concert that they did. And when I'm working, that's one of the things that I do. I listen to this because there's a whole playlist. It's like 6 or 7 songs. And the guitar solo and Veteran of Psychic Wars is amazing. What's the name? Buck Dharma? Buck Dharma is just a freaking guitar god, basically. Steve Cadman asks, Ned, does PhilHealth cover dental and optical? No, it does not. PhilHealth only basically covers inpatient. If you get, admitted to the hospital on inpatient basis, that's when the PhilHealth starts to kick in. PhilHealth is also going up, I believe, to about $340 per year for foreigners in the Philippines. We got away with paying the local Filipino price. I think it was like $50, $60, a ridiculous amount. Joe Brennan says, can you talk about hospitality differences and also how targeted for being rich, like at the market or boardwalk? In Dumaguete, there's so many foreigners here that we really don't get the long nose, the skin tax. I can't think of a single instance where I actually got beat. And Michelle and I have actually done experiments on this. We were buying some bamboo furniture. And I went in first, and she stayed behind, and I got a price. And then Michelle went in afterwards after I left, and she got a price, and it was the same price. As far as hospitality, there's a lot of hospitality here. It's part of the culture. It's part of maintaining amor proprio. It's part of, maintaining your face, giving to others, helping out other people, inviting strangers into your house. You meet somebody, they'll be saying, I think one of the first questions is, have you eaten? I think there's actually a Tagalog term for that. I don't know. I don't speak Tagalog. But yeah, as far as hospitality, and when there's fiestas and stuff, people just walk around, get invited into different compounds, people's houses, people's homes. So, in maintaining amor proprio and avoiding shame, you know, that hospitality, and I think it's all, you know, it's very important. Southeast Asia, parts of the Middle East, you see that, and you don't see that as much in America unless you're down south, North Carolina. Yeah, I love North Carolina. Getty G4 says, have you ever considered a drone for some spectacular footage? I thought about it when I was thinking about it, getting one when I went back to the U.S., but I'm not sure. Golden Rich says, come to Australia. I'm not going to Australia. I've already been in Australia. That's where I got my name from. All right. So that pretty much wraps it up. We got 90 people. Golden Rich says, you want to box me? I don't think you want to box me. I really doubt that. I got a story about that, but I'll save it for another time when the statute of limitations expires. Philly in the Philippines. Hello, Ned from Angeles City. Hello, Angeles City. Golden Rich, you're a strange dude. Yes, Scuba Tom says, where are the two girls that sing? You had them on one of your vlogs. The girl with the guitar is very good. Yeah, she was amazing. I gave her our Gmail account. I told her I'd love to do a video on them, but she never contacted us. Maybe she just thought I was some crazy foreigner, which I am. That's unfortunate because she is so fantastic. She was basically doing all the singing, and her guitar playing was just off the hook. But we're going to be having Grizzle, we're going to be having Chryzel come in at some point. We'll do a video of her singing, me playing guitar. And yes, thank you, Katabatic. Is that Kumayin? Kumayin Kana? Or Kumain Kana? Have you eaten? Yeah. What is it? Yeah, have you eaten? Golden Rich says, do you like Tupac? Alright, so that's basically... Jim says, what about the ex-Marine that was shot recently? I don't know about an ex-Marine that was shot recently. I do know there was a seaman, a U.S. Navy sailor who was retired and living here that got shot and killed here. That's the last I heard about it. Yeah, I thought it was Johnny Warrior. The Adventures of Johnny Warrior. I thought he was ex-Navy. Johnny Warrior is going to be next week's recommended vlog because he's got a really interesting perspective and he's getting out there. And I love the stuff you did up in Luzon. He was up Camp John Hay. He was freezing his ass off and he had a cold. And finally, Golden Rich says, I like black Asian girls. That's great, Golden Rich. Golden Rich, thank you for stopping by. So that's our weekly live cast covering some of the things that are going on here in regards to expatriate life in the Philippines. Sorry about the video quality. It's uploading live. So if you wait like an hour for it to process, it's actually going to be a lot better. Terry Height, I don't know about another American being killed. I haven't seen anything in the news, but like I said, ever since Phil Prinz got murdered at Zanzibar here in Dumaguete, that was a few years back, you haven't seen much coverage. Whenever a foreigner's killed, you don't see too much coverage, except for the case of the Korean guy who was strangled in PNP headquarters. And then that was a freaking horror show. Hang Lee, hello from snowy Quincy. I used to live in Quincy. I like Quincy. Yeah. All right, everybody, take care. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for the input. Golden Rich, I'm probably going to block you next week. Johnny Warrior, you're going to be next week's recommended vlog. If anybody has any news on Twitchy hates cats. If anybody has any news on any foreigner that was recently killed in regards to that recent shooting, just let me know. Terry Height says, you look hot, Ned. Is it a hot day today? Yeah, it's pretty warm today. The cooler weather is starting to move out. Summer's starting to move in. But it's been raining crazy for weeks and weeks. So it's actually nice. All right, y'all, take care, and we'll see you next week. Thanks for participating in the live stream. If you have any questions for me, just shoot me an email, and I'll do my best to answer it. And if you know the answer to the trivia questions and You sent them to me via email. I should have you copies of the book by next Tuesday night. That's basically it. Take care, y'all.